Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Great League and let's try out this team. So we're going to be trying out the Cresselia paired with the Mandibuzz in the Shadow Swampert in the back. Here we have a interesting lead. We're trying to catch a move. They decide to throw a move after farming up to the return. They're going to switch out into the Swampert, and at least we can have some Dark Pulses to go back at this Swampert. They are going to be able to spam these Hydro Cannons pretty quickly. One Hydro Cannon gets fired off. They are able to CAP tie on the next one here. So this is going to take out our Mandibuzz. Now we're going to be able to come back in with this Cresselia. We're going to farm up a little bit of energy. We're going to throw this Grass Knot right before they get to another move. There goes the Swampert, and expecting the Sableye to come back. No, they actually decided to use their Skarmory. Skarmory here is going to be able to fire off a move, but we do have a shield. And then here we're going to make sure we throw a move. We're going for the Hydro Cannon bait. Do they shield? No shield by them. We have to shield here and look for the farm down because we want 100 energy. We do have to over farm though. So now we have to try to beat this Skarmory with all this energy. They finally used their first shield. We're going to go for another Hydro Cannon here. Does grab that second shield. Trying to get to another move. Oh, unfortunately, unable to reach it. If we had gotten that last Hydro Cannon, we possibly could have gotten them low enough that we can go for 2 Moonblasts for the win. But due to our opponent, unable to beat this team, your classic Swampert Skarmory team here. They ended up having a pretty balanced team with the Skarmory, Swampert, and the Sableye. So that was a nice play them. All right, next game, let's see what we find. We got the Cresselia versus the Wigglytuff. Okay, we'll stay in for now. We want to try to get this Wiggly as low as possible. Definitely don't want the Wiggly onto our Mandibuzz, so we're going to fire off a Moonblast here. Doesn't get the debuff, so this next move will deal full damage. Icy Wind gets revealed. They do debuff our attack. We're going to go for another Moonblast here. Really doesn't take it out, but we are able to farm it down. They reveal that they have Feraligatr in the back. Feraligatr here is going to throw a Hydro Cannon at this Mandibuzz. Oh, looks like possible lag. Okay, actually, it looks like they probably disconnected here, unfortunately. So depending on what's in the bag, what do we think is in the back at this point? They had a Wiggly and a Feraligatr. Probably, I don't know, maybe Annihilate or maybe like a just a Generalist. Okay, ends up being the Gligar. Okay, so Gligar here would have been okay against our backline here. We did have the Swampert with a couple of shields. If the Swampert happened to get some extra energy, we would have been able to apply a ton of pressure towards this Gligar. So let us know if you think that we would have been able to beat this game anyways. But unfortunately for them, they did lag out, and we're going to have to just move on. So next game, let's see what we find. We do have our own core with the Mandibuzz and the Cresselia. So that's a pretty decent squad there. And then to finish it off with our Swampert. Here we're going to have the Altaria versus our Cresselia. They do an early shield here. They definitely don't want to see this Cresselia in the bag, I guess. We're going to shield as well just to maintain health. They are applying a ton of fast move pressure, unfortunately. They go with a double shield. Okay, interesting. Double shield gets revealed. We're going to let it go through. Trying to get to another Moonblast. Fainting on Moonblast is brutal. That extra damage there would come in handy. Especially since we're going to have to use at least 2 Dark Pulses here. Okay, our opponent here does reveal a Azumarill. Azumarill in the back. It's going to be pretty good against our backline. It is tanky for 1. And number 2, I don't know, anticipating like Steel type in the back, maybe Reggie, maybe Stunfisk, something like that. So this Swampert is going to have no more use for that. Here we're going to try to farm it down. Unfortunately, unable to farm down. We're going to go for this Aero Ace. Aero Ace does finally take out the Azumarill. Altaria decides to come back in. They go for the Moonblast. What is that? There's the Reggie Steel. So this is your classic Reggie, Altaria, Azumarill team. If some way we had aligned the Swampert a little bit better, we would have maybe had a chance. But unfortunately for us, the Altaria applies so much pressure, we did not survive to fire off that Moonblast. If we had maybe gotten a little bit of energy advantage with our Swampert, maybe we would have been able to overtake their backline. Alright, next game we have the Cresselia versus the Double. Double here is going to potentially have payback. We'll see what they have. One payback will not KO from this range. Alright, so we got to tank this move here. Ends up being the Wild Charge. They did Wild Charge and Dip. What is that? Araquanid. Okay, so this is not necessarily the tankiest thing, but it is able to spam a ton of moves. One Arrow Ace fires off and it gets the shield. They did debuff our attack. They're going to reveal their second move. Ends up being the Buzz. Does some good neutral damage, however, not enough to take us out. And we did not get the debuff on that end as well. They're going to go for another Bubble Beam here. Not a lot of damage, but it does debuff our attack. Arrow Ace does go through. We know that they are going to try to... Okay, they do catch a move with their double wall. We're going to fire off this Arrow Ace to chip at it. And then make sure we throw this Grass Knot on good timing. This Grass Knot will either get a shield or it's going to get the KO. So our opponent here is down to one shield. They have the Gyarados in the pack. Gyarados here is going to be very spammy and it's going to be able to win CAP. So they are going to have to think about shielding here. They actually do invest their second shield. We're going to come back in with the Swampert. They are switch locked, so they're not going to be able to switch out of this situation just yet. Oh, nice play by my opponent. They do catch a Hydro Cannon onto their Araquanid. The Araquanid here is going to fire off a move. Bubble Beam does get revealed. It is not enough to take out this Mandibuzz. We're going to fire off this Arrow Ace. Does take out the Araquanid, and now we have to just get to another move with our Mandibuzz against their Gyarados. We do get to a Arrow Ace. Trying to get to another move. They're looking for the farm down. Unable to happen, and now we're going to be able to win the game. So GG's to our opponent running the double bug team in the back. Very interesting, very spammy, and well played by them, honestly. Trying their best to recover from that situation. Alright, next game we got the Cresselia versus the Lantern. Pretty decent matchup here. We anticipate them switching out at some point, but we're going to throw this Grass Knot on good timing. They do take the move, switch out into the Shadow Glider. Okay, Shadow Glider here is going to be able to spam these Arrow Aces. However, we're going to be able to spam our own Dark Pulse. We need at least 2 Dark Pulses here. Our opponent does get to another move already, so another Arrow Ace does get fired off. We're going to go for this Dark Pulse as well. This is not going to KO from this range, but we're looking for a farm down because we can tank this next move here. Arrow Ace gets us into the low red, so Shadow Glider taking down the Mandibuzz into the low red is pretty decent. We're going to go for this Dark Pulse here to deal chip damage, and our opponent does tank it. We're going to have to come back in here with the Cresselia, making a call that there's some kind of, I don't know, stabilize, some kind of... okay, it ends up being the Annihilate. Annihilate here is going to have to win the game with 2 shields. We do grab a shield, and then we're going to switch out into our Shadow Swampert. We're going to allow this move to go through. Could have been a potential Shadow Ball right there, so that was a nice bait call by us. Double Night Slash gets fired off. We avoid the boost, allowing us to get to this Hydro Cannon, and they realize their fate. They're going to let it go, and now we have the energy to win the game. So GG's to our opponent. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.